Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to the event officiating the strategic partnership between Vinayaka Mission's Research Foundation and HCLTech. Today, we celebrate an ambitious initiative, VEmerge Plus, powered by HCLTech Career Shaper, future-proofing education. This collaboration marks a pivotal step forward in embedding technological innovation into education. We are honored by your presence today as we embark on this journey together. I now request the gathering to kindly rise for the Tamil Thai Valthu. To begin the evening, I invite Dr. A. Nagapan, Registrar VMRF, to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you all for this momentous occasion, for this exciting partnership between Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, deemed it to be university, and HCLTech. First, I would like to extend warm greetings to our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. A.S. Ganesan, our respected Vice President, Dr. Anuradha Ganesan, Mr. J. Suresh Amvel, Member Board of Management. I am also pleased to welcome our esteemed guests from HCLTech, Mr. Srimati Shivashankar, Corporate Vice President, Mr. Sambika Natarajan, Senior Vice President. I also welcome our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P.K. Sudhir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Sabrinathan, Head of the Institutions of the Constituent Units of Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, deemed to be university, Head of the Departments, esteemed colleagues, and dedicated faculty members who have joined us today. Thank you all for your support to celebrate this collaboration. We want to give an introduction about this partnership. This partnership marks a key step forward in integrating academic excellence with industry expertise. Through our collaboration with HCLTech, we are launching the Career Shape platform, VEmerge Plus, to equip our students with practical, industry-relevant skills. By bridging the gap between the academic learning and real-world application, we are creating pathways for students to gain hands-on experience, specialized knowledge, and valuable internship opportunities so that to prepare them to succeed in this rapidly changing job market. This partnership is about more than just technology. It also reflects a shared vision. Together with HCLTech, we are committed to help our students and faculty members to advance their skills that align with the National Education Policy 2020 in a holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary form. On behalf of Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, deemed to be university, I extend our heartfelt thanks to HCLTech for their vision, dedication, and trust. We look forward to working closely to inspire a new generation of leaders and innovators. Once again, welcome today for this ceremony, and I am confident that this event will mark the beginning of a very fruitful partnership that will benefit not only our students and faculty, but also the wider community. Thank you.
At this juncture, we are privileged to honor the distinguished guests joining us today. I invite Dr. A.S. Ganesan, Chancellor, VMRF, and Dr. Anuradha Ganesan, Vice President, VMRF, to extend their warm felicitations to the HCLTech leadership team. Ms. Srimati Shivashankar, Corporate Vice President, Executive Leadership, and Head, EdTech Business, HCLTech. Ms. Ambika Natarajan, Senior Vice President and Global Head of Product Innovation, Solutions and Customer Success, EdTech Business, HCLTech. Mr. Pratap Aditya Chakravarti, Global Head, Partner Success, HCLTech. Devi Sunarajan, Associate Director, Enterprise Customer Success Lead, HCLTech. Ms. Shanti Venkatraman, Quality Assurance Lead, HCLTech. Tilagavati Gunasekara, University Delivery Lead, HCLTech. Thank you, sir and madam. Next, I invite Ms. Srimati Shivashankar, Corporate Vice President, HCLTech, and Ms. Ambika Natarajan, Senior Vice President, HCLTech, to extend their felicitations to the VMRF leadership team. Dr. A.S. Ganesan, Chancellor, VMRF. Dr. Anuradha Ganesan, Vice President, VMRF. Mr. Suresh Samuel, full-time member, Board of Management, VMRF, and Chief Strategy Officer, Office of the Chancellor. Dr. P.K. Sudhir, Vice Chancellor, VMRF. Professor Dr. J. Sabarinathan, Pro Vice Chancellor, VMRF. Dr. A. Nagapan, Registrar, VMRF. Thank you all for this warm gesture. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Ambika Natarajan and Mr. Suresh Samuel to share their vision for this transformative partnership.
Suresh, you want to come here so that we can use the same mic? So, good evening, everyone. Vanakkam, a very, very warm vanakkam to all of you. As you can see, as I see from here, we see a lot of smiles in every face, and that's truly reflective of what we coming together, the Vinayaka Mission and HCLTech coming together, is going to spell out in terms of transforming this ecosystem and making those transformational decisions which will matter to students, to learners, to academia, and in the process touching the ecosystem. So we are HCLTech. And this is something about us very quickly. So we're a 13.4 billion company. We operate out of 60 countries. And what that also means is that 50% of the global 500 enterprises, we already have some work doing with them. What that translates into how it touches lives is that for all you know, every day in your life, some system, some process, some equipment, behind the scenes, there is a HCLTech that is working, be it in a payment gateway, or keeping your system secure, or working with some of the largest OEMs that help you modernize your cloud infrastructure, applications, right, products, equipments, original equipments that comes from manufacturers. We have a presence in all of them. And that's something with humility and pride we're very, very happy to share. But while we do all that, we're also very mindful of the fact that transformation has to touch human lives. And that's why our founder, Mr. Shiv Nadar, continues to be one of the top philanthropists from the contribution that he makes for global good and wellness of the human citizenship. That's one. Roshni, our chairperson, is also one of the most powerful business women in the world. So that's again reflective of the kind of diversity and the power of diversity we bring. And what I want to kind of emphasize here, it's not just in terms of words, but in terms of actions. And that's what comes together in this slide that you see. So what is it that Vinayaka Emerge Plus is all about? So underlying, as you just heard, it's all about a platform that we put, it's called Career Shaper. While Career Shaper may sound like a platform, what it actually is an ecosystem. Because under Career Shaper, there are a series of products, solutions, services, and possibilities that come together to touch what we call as powering the whole talent transformation journey, right? And this is what is going to power what we call as the Vinayaka Emerge Plus. Now, Emerge Plus, when Sam told me that it's called Vinayaka Emerge Plus, I said there could not be a more powerful convergence than calling it an Emerge Plus, because Emerge Plus means that the possibilities are infinite, right? So, Sam, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, thanks, Ambika. We are really excited about this partnership, and I'm very happy to stage, along with HCL Technologies, after almost which used to be my first company in the IT, after I embarked from FMCG for 10 years. And this is something we started discussion with the HCLTech almost a year before, wherein we were iterating on different models that can really bring the synergy between an industry, academia, and also with regard to society. So all the three things at large, we started looking at the model. And then when we want to make our students future ready for the 21st century skills, I think it's so important that our alignment with an industry partner like HCL Technologies will go a long way in terms of making our students ready for the industry 5.0 you may call, and maybe for the society 5.0. So said that, these are all the offerings, that initial offerings, what we have initially identified that we will work with HCL Technologies. The first one being the leading platform and products. So here, along with HCL Technologies, we are trying to work with them, leveraging a learning management system and a content management system and a knowledge management system eventually, which will be a repository of all the work products that generate out of our researchers, and also with regard to the live projects that we may work with HCL Technologies, and also on the other IPs that we may develop. So we have everything organized in a particular way so that it is well protected, secured, and we see this for our own internal consumption across all the 4 campuses in Tamil Nadu, and also beyond when we have a MOU with other international universities. So that is the power that this platform can bring, and that is what we are looking as one of the offerings that we want to leverage. The second one, the courses for integrated degree program. We have identified a battery of programs, maybe around close to 60, I guess, across engineering, medicine, management, arts and science, and law, which will help students to carry out anywhere between 100 to 300 hours of effort with regard to the credit points, which will extend into internship, which will extend into our live projects, along with HCL Technology. So it will be an integrated degree program, and as we speak, we have started in medicine, which is something that I would like to highlight here, that we have a Center for Artificial Intelligence in Medicine, and there we are also going to augment some of the knowledge assets what HCL can bring, specifically with regard to the artificial intelligence and machine learning, which can be at a primary level for medicine graduates. And likewise, we are extending for law, and needless to say, with regard to engineering, it goes with a complete augmentation of skill sets that HCL can bring through the internship and live projects. The third one is a minor degree. This is something that we can develop, we can co-create, wherein it can span anywhere between 30 hours to 60 hours of minor degree program across the different faculties what we have within Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation. And this is something that will help our students to cross-register for such programs, which really helps in terms of making them future ready for Industry 5.0. So this entire umbrella of this academic framework will encompass this higher education 5.0, which is something what we see as one important movement which is catching up in the Western countries, in developed nations, and also in India, ASSOCHAM and PricewaterhouseCoopers have come out with a very specific report with regard to the higher education 5.0. So this entire framework is more aligned to that. Needless to say, MEP, the National Education Policy, is well integrated in the overall scheme of things. The labs. That is interesting. So HCL, by virtue of their exposure to right from Fortune 200 to Fortune 500 to all the multinational customers which they have across different industries verticals, we are more keen in terms of establishing some very specific labs with the technology partner and the life sciences and the health sciences space, which would be something which will bring as a differentiator along with HCL Technologies to our students and also to the society, which can support more of research and also societal needs. Faculty development. So this is another important area. So HCL has a very rigor in terms of training their own associates and professionals periodically in a leadership skill and critical thinking and problem solving, and likewise, while we extend some of these programs to our students, there is also a specific focus what we would like to bring to our faculty as well. Periodically, how we could support them in terms of nurturing on some of these leadership skills, apart from the technology skills and the other research-oriented support that HCL can provide through the faculty development program. And the last one is the industry projects. I think this is what the initial set of offerings that we have identified to leverage through HCL Technologies. So our students will have a platform now to work on some of the live projects with HCL Technologies, and HCL Technologies would support many of the Fortune 500 customers across different industry verticals. And there may be an opportunity for our students to embark or to work with some of the internship or life projects with some of the HCL clients as well. And it also could extend into an international internship. So by and large, this is our the initial set of offerings that we have identified with HCL. But as we continue in our partnership, we are having a lot of programs, discussions that we are having. In fact, Monday, we are going to have another specific focus discussion on the law program along with HCL Technologies. So we're identifying newer areas which would really help in terms of bringing this partnership, a very clear differentiator to the students in the higher education 5.0. Over to you.
Thank you. The career shaper advantage are many. While you can read this slide, the larger story there is why are we excited about this partnership? Vinayaka Mission truly stands at the cusp of what we call as an intersectional advantage. And what is that intersectional advantage? We know there is no field today that doesn't have an IT in it, right? So IT is all pervading, all permeating. 5 years back, nobody thought there'll be an agri-tech, med-tech, fin-tech, fem-tech, women-tech. So there's a tech today for everything. And the last count, when I did some research like a couple of months back, we were looking at 30 and counting. So it's just increasing by the day. So tech permeates. However, it's also important to look at the softer aspects, right? So when we look at medicine, we look at ethics, we look at how tech can help kind of institutionalizing ethics across a large distribution of what we call as prosumers, people who not only produce but also consume. Look at diagnostics. We are moving very rapidly into the world of robotics. Yesterday, the NVIDIA founder spoke about physical AI, and there's a massive thrust that's going to happen in the AI-enabled robotic space, right? So that's another big thing. The advantage we have is whether you take our engineering services arm, which focuses a whole lot on medical image, drug discovery, healthcare, health systems, an integrated system in the whole healthcare vertical, or you look at core engineering, where we're looking at product manufacturing, product engineering, platform, right? Or you look at the Internet of Things, where all of this goes into a cloud space. We've got some of the largest cloud deployments with cybersecurity in it. AI and data, which is what we call today, we say the new currency today is data, right? So how does data get collected? How does it impact? How do you look at data that actually matters? So that advantage and a whole lot and more is what we are bringing it together through a gateway called Career Shaper. And powering that is the HCLTech ecosystem through our line of business. And we believe when we look at human talent transformation, the journey is always from a left to a right. You have people who come in at different stages of their talent transformation journey, their career journey, but it's important to see where they are and create pathways for them, which will take them to a destination point. So the products that are needed to have a very intuitive, a user-friendly, at the same time a user-excited journey or a learner-exciting journey from the left to right is what we are orchestrating together in Career Shaper. Where we are today, for us, it's been a journey. It will continue to be a journey. We've done a lot of pioneering work. For instance, in 2015-16, our founder, Mr. Shiv Nadar, had an idea that can we look at high school +2 pass-out students, can we make them job ready? So human-centered design innovation, disruption, transformation. That's part of the HCLTech DNA. And a lot of it has come from this team that you're there. Srimati was driving the New Vistas initiative that time. We put this program together because what we realized is the constant in any talent transformation journey is knowledge plus skills plus capability. What mix of that do you bring? So all of that is what gives you the career shaper advantage. Right. So these are some of our differentiators. We will not go into this. I will skip this. But the key thing is, Sam mentioned about labs. In Career Shaper, the journey is always hands-on. So there's quite a bit of products that come together to help you do hands-on exercises, whether it's form of case simulations or what we call as, anecdotal-based exploration, putting all of it together in the Career Shaper experience. And over to Sam now.
Okay, thanks, Ambika. So now, this VEmerge is something that we coined in Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, where we want to create a framework which would help our students on the areas what we could leverage from HCL technologies and also beyond. So what has happened is we already have established Intel integrated program, we have an NEC integrated program, and now we have HCL Technologies. Those both are product companies. Now we have HCL Technologies, which is going to bring us the services and the product landscape in terms of the academic components that can get integrated in our curriculum. Said that, so VEmerge plus, what is that advantage that a student is going to get? So there are 4 components that we have identified. A is the academic, the second is the research, the third is with regard to the entrepreneurship, and the fourth is with employability. So when we talk about academics, I'm not getting into the specific pointers, what you see in the slides, what has been highlighted, because those are all something very specific which we have already discussed with HCL Technologies, like having integrated industry programs and degree courses. But what is that I would like to highlight is, this is going to bring an enhanced credibility in terms of the human-centric learning. So today the programs are designed specifically for each and every student, where a student has an opportunity to really do a program in 4-year period or maybe in 2-year period and likewise. So the small group teaching, whatever NEP is propagating, and this human-centric learning, what we think as part of the higher education 5.0, which is going to be important, and that is something that we would be bringing in our academic framework, which will enhance the credibility. And the other point is, all these things will definitely enable in terms of having a better flexibility and adaptability with regard to the students to pick and choose the program, what they think would be future ready, and also with always the mindset to have a resilience and sustainable vision with regard to the demands of the SDG goals and likewise. So the academic framework is going to be knitted with all these components. So that is going to be a very powerful thing what Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation will be offering to the students. The second is with regard to the research. I mean, like Ambika said, lab is going to be an integral part of the research ecosystem. We already have our in-house labs. We will be also having an extension to HCL Technology Labs, which could be leveraged for carrying out our ongoing research and also working on some specific, maybe it could be an international grant or a specific government grant that we can work on innovative areas which could impact with regard to the Society 5.0 or with regard to the SDG and on sustainability and resilience as well. Apart from the faculties, what we do with regard to life sciences, healthcare, engineering, and law. The third is the entrepreneurship. In HCL, I mean, like she talks about the HCL DNA, where I also have the DNA of HCL. Entrepreneurship is well inbuilt. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but those days when we all joined, so Mr. Nadar used to give a free hand to everyone, and everyone can do whatever they want in terms of ideation, in terms of taking a solution to the market. So there is now a lot of learning that HCL technologies can bring to a student in terms of nurturing entrepreneurship, in terms of how they can support on critical thinking, be it with regard to problem solving, and also with regard to innovation, how they could extend their perceptions, and likewise. This is something that HCL is going to bring as a value add to us on the entrepreneurship. We already have a Ganeshan Incubation and Entrepreneurship Center. I think with aid of the support from HCL Technologies, I think this is going to really help us in terms of further enhancing our entrepreneurship incubation in GIEC. The last one is the employability. So the focus has always been in terms of how we make 21st skills ready. Okay, 21st century skills ready is an important thing, and like what she was talking about, in fact, every day artificial intelligence is bringing in some new change, machine learning is bringing in, and we are one of the front runners in terms of establishing the Center for Artificial Intelligence in Medicine in India, and likewise we will be innovating and we will be integrating with HCL Technologies in terms of creating the employability skills, which can be industry specific or it could be across technology specific, and it could also be a blended of entrepreneurship and employability. So this is the value that VEmerge is going to bring to the students who join Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation.
I think you've covered, yeah.
Okay. So you started, you wrap it up.
I will wrap it up, sure. So is the DNA still there? Very much. As you can see, Career Shaper itself is an entrepreneurial version. I mean, it's a venture for us, and Srimati is driving that. So Mr. Nadar's, whatever he's infused, it continues. It's only growing in leaps and bounds. That is one. And I'm also very excited to hear about the Ganeshan Entrepreneurship, Center of Excellence, because as we speak, we are putting together an entrepreneurship skills for business program. And we want it to be, we want to democratize this because we know Viksit Bharat has a vision, a mission, and Startup Tamil Nadu is full of steroids and it wants to grow leaps and bounds. So we want to see how to be a part of this and power the larger trillion economy that we're all targeting for India as a country. So happy to partner with you on that as well and add more fuel to the wings. Yeah. So thank you so much, and we are truly looking forward to this coming together of two big giants, and I'm sure what we'll do together is also going to be sustainable, transformative, and impacting definitely some UN Sustainability Development Goals. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for that insightful presentation. We have now arrived at the cornerstone of today's event, the exchange of the Memorandum of Understanding. I invite Honorable Chancellor, Dr. S. Ganesan, Corporate Vice President, HCLTech, to the dais for the formal exchange. Joining them, may I also call upon Dr. Anuradha Ganesan, Vice President, VMRF, Mr. Suresh Samuel, Ms. Ambika Natarajan, Dr. P.K. Sudhir, Vice Chancellor, VMRF, Professor Dr. J. Sabarinathan, Pro Chancellor, VMRF, Dr. A. Nagapan, Registrar, VMRF, Mr. Muthu-Shankar, Mr. Pratap Aditya Chakravarti, and Ms. Tilagavati Gunasekaran. May I also invite Mr. P. Rajasekaran, Deputy Registrar, Administration, VMRF, onto the dais. Mr. Lakshmi Mohan, please join us. Now, the HCLTech leadership team will be presenting a plaque symbolizing our partnership to the VMRF leadership team. Thank you all. To address the gathering and share his insights, I invite Dr. P.K. Sudhir, Vice Chancellor, VMRF.
Honorable Chancellor, Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation, Deemed University, Dr. A.S. Ganeshan, respected Vice President, Dr. Anuradha Ganeshan, Mr. J. Suresh Samuel, Member, Board of Management, our distinguished guests from HCLTech, Srimati Shivashankar, Corporate Vice President, and Ambika Nadarajan, Senior Vice President, Dr. J. Shabrinathan, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. A. Nagappan, Registrar, special invited guests from HCLTech, heads of institutions, heads of the departments, esteemed colleagues, press and media, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very good evening to you all. I was told today is a very auspicious day and the evening is more auspicious. And it has happened, two giants, one from industry and one from academics, has already partnered with a good intention. Today we are not merely witnessing the signing of a partnership. We are stepping into a future that redefines how we educate, innovate, and inspire. This collaboration with HCLTech represents more than just the integration of industry expertise into our academic structure. It is a shared commitment to shaping a new generation of leaders, thinkers, and innovators. In a world where technology and human creativity are increasingly integrated, education must evolve beyond traditional boundaries. Through the Career Shaper platform, our students will gain hands-on exposure to real-world challenges and industry knowledge that cannot be taught within the confines of the classroom alone. This platform enables students to immerse themselves in projects and internships that prepare them to be not only job-ready, but also solution-oriented and forward-thinking in their approach to complex global issues. The establishment of artificial intelligence and data center of excellence on our campus marks a cornerstone of this partnership. This center is more than an academic facility. It will serve as a launch pad for our students and faculty to push the limits of research and technological innovations, to collaborate and to explore transformative ideas that impact healthcare, management, business, and beyond. I'm sure with HCLTech support, we will nurture an ecosystem that champions interdisciplinary learning and use technology to solve pressing issues in the society. Aligned with the goals of the National Education Policy 2020, our mission goes beyond imparting technical knowledge. Collaboration is one of our 6 pillars of excellence in our vision document 2030. At Vinayaka Mission's Research Foundation, we strive to instill qualities such as adaptability, empathy, and ethical responsibility in our students. We extend our deepest gratitude to HCLTech. Your partnership and vision are vital to realizing these educational transformations. Together, we are paving the way for students who are ready not only for the demands of the workplace, but also for the responsibilities of leadership and innovation. Let us all today embrace the vision of the future, a future where education serves as a foundation for creativity, resilience, and purpose. Thanks you all for your presence, for joining with us on this transformative journey. Together, we are not merely preparing the students for career, we are empowering them to shape a better world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we transition to a thought-provoking panel discussion titled From STEM to STEAM, moderated by Dr. Anand Padmanabhan, Dean, Vinayaka Missions Law School, VMRF. Please allow us 2 minutes while we set the chairs on stage, and then I'll call the panelists up on the dais. Our moderator, Dr. Anand Padmanabhan, Dean, Vinayaka Missions Law School, VMRF, onto the dais. The panelists, Ms. Ambika Natarajan, Senior Vice President, HCLTech, Mr. Suresh Samuel, Full-Time Member, Board of Management, VMRF, and Chief Strategy Officer, Office of the Chancellor, Professor Dr. J. Sabarinathan, Pro Vice Chancellor, VMRF, Dr. Parthiban Srinivasan, Director, Center for AI in Medicine, AVMCH, VMRF. Kindly take your seats on the dais.
Thanks, Madhumita. Welcome you all to this panel discussion. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I think we both, right, in a way, in an odd sort of way. And parallelly, in fact, I was, hearing Ambika speak about left to right. So I was similarly thinking about something else, which is the left brain and the right brain. It's not very different from the same, idea. So welcome you all to this session. We're really looking to explore in the short time that we have this very idea of how education has transformed in the last few years. And a lot of that being necessitated by the new kinds of workplace skills that are in demand, and the kinds of problems that new age workers or employees are asked to resolve. So just to share some very quick thoughts about the topic. What we see now increasingly with more research going into the human brain is that we are neither left-brained nor right-brained really, but we all are in some sense full-brained. It's just that education systems train, depending on where we speak from, different parts of the brain. Indian higher education has been, and primary education too, has been known to be famous for nurturing the left side of the brain in a much more powerful way, while if you talk to an educator in Finland, you'll hear much more about how the right side of the brain is nurtured. So a lot of it is simply the kind of emphasis that we as educators place upon learning. However, the world that we enter into, and we are in many ways, is really far more complex, and a lot of the analytical skills that our education system has prioritized for years is today in demand for a complete reboot, simply because the kinds of problems that students are expected to solve demand them to bring in more imaginative thinking, creative thinking, collaboration skills, and so on to the workplace. So it's no longer a world where we can just say that you learn your math, you learn your physics, and get your technical education sorted out. It's also a world where you need to effectively communicate these concepts, where you need to work with teams, break down problems into sub-themes and sub-problems, articulate your vision for something, and of course be creative in everything that you do. So that's a lot. When we speak to students, we kind of get that sense. It's a lot to demand from them. I think, I too belong to a generation that was luckier in a sense. All I needed to do was learn what our judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts said, and I could get along, build a respectable career. But today I feel like my own students are struggling with these challenges. But I think what it also means is if higher education can respond to these challenges, there is a great opportunity, and that's where I think industry-academia collaboration too plays a vital role, and today serves as a testament to that when a big entity which has for decades perfected the art of problem solving comes together with a multidisciplinary institution which has cut its teeth across multiple disciplines, come together, the kind of possibilities that can emerge. I think VEmerge Plus is a very good example of that. So I would begin open the panel with you, Dr. Sabrinathan, serving as our Pro Vice Chancellor, and looking at some of these questions from the vantage point of an educator and an academic. We would like to hear your reflections on how we can make this STEM to STEAM actually happen in reality, especially from higher education's perspective.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. As an educator as well as an academician, every time we sit in the boardroom to discuss the curriculum which we are supposed to deliver, we often ask a question to ourselves: what is the expectation of a stakeholder with regards to the graduates we train? The graduates we train are eventually serve the society, become part of the industry, and play a major role in the nation building. Conventionally, what happens is that when it comes to the STEM stream, we produce competent graduates. They're extremely competent, but what happens is that their competency is very much confined to their discipline. That is because when we plan in the boardroom, we focus a lot on psychomotor skills and cognitive skills. That is more on a knowledge and skill based. And we largely ignore another important domain called affective domain. Because the interaction with the affective domain is very limited in our own discipline. It is very fragmented. Am I right? I'm sure most of the academicians here agree. We have some compartmentalized program to basically cover the affective domain. But the industry or the stakeholders' expectations are way higher than that. They expect the graduates to possess the 21st century skills, right? Communication skills, critical thinking, design thinking, teamwork, leadership, more importantly, soft skills, and very, very more importantly, inter or multidisciplinary approach. There was a computer science graduate, I'm not sure most of you are aware about this person. His name is Zia Christie. He was a computer science graduate, graduated from Columbia University, and eventually he goes to Stanford University to do his master's in business administration. At that moment, he underwent orthodontic treatment. Orthodontics is basically, correcting the malalign the teeth. So as he finished his treatment, as he was undergoing the retainer treatment, there was a eureka moment for him. His critical thinking sparked. And he thought, why this treatment is so complicated? For me, I have to come for multiple visits. It's so cumbersome. And for the orthodontist, also very cumbersome because so many wires and bands and, the brackets, etc. Why can't I make this easy? So he, combines his entrepreneurship skills. He crosses discipline. He speaks with his healthcare professionals. He forms a team, teamwork skills, and he assumes leadership skills, and he floats a company. This company is called Align Technologies. He floated in the year 1998. Now it's a $5 billion company, and the product of this company is a household name today. It's called Invisalign. Now, Invisalign was not invented by an orthodontist or a dentist, but rather a computer science graduate. That is the power of 21st century skills. The question is, how are we going to embed these skills into the curriculum? The answer is obviously STEM to STEAM, right? That is the equation we are looking forward right now. Now, how do we do that? As I have said, we used to do in a very touch and go fashion, fragmented. That is not the way to go. We must actually rethink the design of the curriculum, what we call it as a newer approach to the curriculum. Of course, to an extent, problem-based learning could help. To an extent, project-based learning could help. But experiential learning during their life as a student is what makes a huge level of difference, where the students are exposed to real-life scenarios. And what better way than academia-industry partnership, right? So we don't want our student to be exposed in a very short-term basis, say a 15-day internship course. That is not what we are looking at it. We want an organic transformation when it comes to inculcating the industry practices into the curriculum of our students. So I would say my appeal to most of the academicians over here is that, a food is as good as a recipe. Similarly, a curriculum delivery is as good as how we plan. So when we plan, focus on the effective domain, but more importantly, go beyond your discipline. If you're a medical professional or engineering professional, go beyond your discipline when you are going to implement the effective domain. Then everything becomes seamless and in order. So I'm sure the STEAM would help, and the academia industry collaboration would eventually help, and our students would be the foremost beneficiaries in this. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Shabhinathan, and thank you so much for taking back me to my time at Stanford, because Invisalign was one of the case studies that we did in our course on formation of new ventures. And it is so inspiring to hear how he came up with this idea. Again, reiterating the point as to how it happens in a classroom, I think you're absolutely right. There is a lot of work that we as academics have to do, push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, and nothing comes without doing that. So I think that message is quite clear from what you conveyed. And now coming to you, Dr. Parthiban, we are fortunate to have someone like you with a lot of multidisciplinary experiences, our own Invisalign, if I may say so, and now working at a center for AI in medicine, creating the center. So, sir, what I'd like to sort of probe a little further with you is the whole idea of this left brain and right brain dichotomy, right? And the relevance and role of emotions and human-centered design in how we can sort of effectuate STEAM thinking.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Anand. Actually, I'm taking the leaf from both Dr. Sabri and Dr. Anand. So one stem to steam and left brain, right brain. So when I was listening to your conversation, what popped up in my mind is, there's a visionary guy, Patrick Dixon. He was interviewing the YouTube guys, the two young guys, smart kids. Hey, when you were starting YouTube, what was your bank balance? 0. Are you guys from Harvard, Stanford, MIT? No, we are from a small colleges, state government colleges. How much money you guys have raised for starting YouTube? Nothing. Are you guys were using any of the supercomputers? No, our own personal desktop. What is your current bank balance? $1.6 billion. What? Are you kidding? What is the magic? What is the secret behind? 2 years ago, your bank balance was 0. Now it is $1.6 billion. The answer was, we touched the emotions of the people. It's not the technology which drives the transformative force, but the emotions. And when I come back to your left brain, right brain, when I am connecting these two, the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, which is on the left side of our brain. Those who are very strong in left side of the brain, this is an hypothesis. That is, it is logical, linear, and it's very analytical. And then those who are strong in this, you become an accountant, engineers, or technocrat, and all that. Whereas right side of the brain is more artistic, more looking at holistic. So meaning those who are good in painting, drawing, and dance, music, so the right side of the brain. So to be successful in the 21st century, the current generation, it's not that you belong to left side of the brain or right side of the brain. You need to be focusing on both. You need to fine tune your left side and right side of the brain. That's where when you touch the emotions along with your technology, that is the combination which will drive the transformative force. So this is something which I want to respond to you. And I believe that humans have discovered solutions to most of the pressing problems. But the challenge is, the solution comes in the shape of puzzle pieces. A journal article here, a patent document over there, a clinical trials document over there, a Chinese internal memo sitting somewhere there, and a German language conference abstract sitting over there. They're all scattered. The abundance of knowledge that we have today is unprecedented. And our brain, the human mind, we do not have sufficient computational power in our brain to process them all. Easier said, we cannot read and understand all of them. Every single day, there are 10,000 journal articles are getting published in science, technology, and engineering. And 50% of them are not even read by 5 people. Most of them are ending up as a digital equivalent of a dust. What if we have a brain, a big brain, a powerful brain which can read all of them, connect the dots, and make sense out of it? That is what is artificial intelligence that we are talking about today. AI, artificial intelligence, which is not magic, it is science. And this year, last month, we know that the Science Nobel Prize was awarded to artificial intelligence, both chemistry and physics, 2 Nobel Prizes, 2 sets of Nobel Prizes for AI. That is a science. And AI is not magic, it is engineering. Today in the engineering colleges, most of the students, their top priority subject is artificial intelligence, because they all think that this will give a better job prospects and future will be much brighter. The opportunities for AI is much brighter, futuristic. And AI is not magic, it is technology. Today you take healthcare, financial sector, manufacturing, media, entertainment, everywhere that technology, AI is pervasive. AI is not magic, it is mathematics. At the end of the day, AI is algorithm, linear algebra, calculus, probability, statistics. This is what powering, driving artificial intelligence. But that is not all. One big element which is missing, that is art. For example, let me give you an example. ChatGPT. How many of you here not using ChatGPT? I don't see. You are not using ChatGPT. And anyone else? because I was, yeah, there'll be always, in AI, you know, there is nothing 100%. Always, even if I ask a cat or a dog, it will say 90% dog, 10% cat. So always in any 100 people gathering, it will always be, there'll be some 10% and 90%. So I'm assuming that almost the rest of them are using ChatGPT. You know what? ChatGPT did not come just all of a sudden, but then it came, just the whole world has transformed just 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago, November 2022, it was released. And then it is not that ChatGPT just came somewhere from the sky. The first version of ChatGPT, which was released in 2018, hardly a couple of dozen people were using, the experts in AI. Then a better version was released in 2019. Still, there were less than 50 people, the experts, they were talking about GPT, generative pre-trained transformer model, GPT. But then in 2020, 175 times fold scaled up version with 175 billion parameters, GPT version 3, which was released. But still, you know what? Less than 100 people were using. Everybody was pricing. Everybody was talking about the emergent ability of GPT. But still, it was only the handful of AI professionals were talking about GPT. But the same GPT in the year 2022, within a month time, 1 million people were using. Within 2 months, 50 million people were using. What is the difference? Art. The art, which was integrated with the GPT, nothing else was done. With the GPT-3, we were integrating the wonderful, innovative user interface. The human element was integrated. It became user-friendly. Imagine. See, this has become, the innovation, it's not just, it stops at there. Combining the emotions, the art, that brings the transformative force. Even if you look at the history, telephone, radio, TV, internet, Facebook, iPhone, all of them, the transformative force, they all have a human element, the empathy, design element. So with that, I think my 5 minutes may be over. Maybe I will come back to it during the question answer sessions. Maybe much more we can talk about it.
Yeah, thanks, so Dr. Parthivan. I mean, basically the story of why Orkut failed and Facebook succeeded is all about human-centered design. One got it right while the other didn't. Ambika ma'am, I'd like to now turn to you because all of this raises that big question about how do we train them to be workforce ready, right? And you've seen millennials, you've seen Gen Y, Gen Z, and I'm sure you'll see many more generations, and still certain things remain the same, certain things keep changing, and certain kinds of training needs to be done by the industry, and certain things have to be done by educators. So where do you see all of this sort of, coming together, including the role of technology in all of this, empowering it?
Right. So some very interesting points when Dr. Sabri said, food is good if the recipe is good, but the recipe is good if the ingredients are good, right? And today we're in an age where the ingredients have a very large component of humans in it. When he spoke about the art in artificial intelligence, we at HCLTech, in fact, this is something Srimati and I keep talking and deliberating. It's not so much prompt engineering, it's prompt art. So when technology, and I remember in 2012, I created the first brokering system for our organization. The purpose was very simple. That time we were, I think, about 80,000 people, HCLTech. Today we're like 2.3 lakh people. The purpose was, we have people all over the globe, and there is human expertise sitting in every nook and cranny in different forms and shapes, right? How do I tap into that expertise? Rather than asking someone I know, how can I enable asking someone who knows? And in a large system, in a large distributed organization which is dispersed, multifunctional, multi-vertical, multi-horizontal, access to expertise was a key factor. Now that experiment, it was an experiment that we did. It was a low-funded thing. It was an innovation incubation thing that we did. But what we realized in that process was a few things came out. In just about a year, we had close to 16,000 subject matter experts who were part of that system. And the nature of questions that were being asked to SMEs across was not just tech. There were questions on work-life balance, There were questions on benefits and policies. There were a lot of questions which touched human elements. Technology was the carrier. So we realized that whenever we do interventions, when we do talent transformation, talent development, it's very important that by design, we identify what are some of those constant and essential human elements that need to come in. For instance, the ability to intuitively sense something. Now, just look at this placard. What does it say? It says Miss Ambika Natarajan, right? Okay. Just look at this. What does it say? Shri J. Suresh Samuel. What if here they would have put Srimati Ambika Natarajan? Then Anant wouldn't have known whether to call Srimati or Ambika to the stage. This is intuitive, perceptive, on-the-fly thinking. On the fly. Whether it was instructed or someone did it thinking on their own. But that's the key difference. A simple example. I think it was in the year 1999. There was a Mars orbiter. It was a Mars climate study orbiter which had been launched. 128 million US dollars. And we're talking 1999, which is a huge amount, 128 million US dollars. The entire system crashed. And you know why? Because the teams that were working on it, one set of team members were doing the entire calculations using metric units. And another set of team members were using empirical units. And this created a massive calculation error causing the whole mission to collapse. 128 down the drain. What did we need? Effective communication, handshaking, collaboration, and most importantly, what we call as unified schematic design with strong documentation capabilities. Google has been around. When we grew up, for us, the source of knowledge was always a library. We used to take books, and coming from physics, electronics background, I have completely grown on Russian authors and the Asimovs of the world, studying quantum and cryptography. Then came Google. So access to information was still there. But you still needed human intelligence to process those 1 lakh results that came and pick the ones that are closest to what you're looking for. Today, with generative AI, the information access is completely been obliterated. My first access to ChatGPT was 2 years back when Google announced Code Red, when Microsoft invested in OpenAI and had a stake in ChatGPT. And from there, you're right, the subscription base has been the fastest ever in history. Right? Today, that information is still available, but there are so many times the results that come to you needs intelligence to process, parse, and pick what is relevant to you. And that is a capability which comes only when you have a STEAM mindset and not just a STEM mindset. So when we are looking at technology, when we build Career Shaper, when we're building our products, when we are imparting any such program, change management is a very, very deep underlying thing which we put in our pedagogy. The methodologies that we introduce, for instance, our entire data science lab, the entire pedagogy is primarily learned through prototyping. Because the more you prototype, you will make mistakes. The ability to identify mistakes, to handle exceptions, to debug where you're making mistakes, needs a far more interconnected capability beyond just skills and knowledge. So that's the shift that we are bringing.
Thank you, ma'am. I think there are both instances of experiential learning and adaptive learning that you highlight are quite important to be effective problem solvers. I mean, last but not the least, I come to you, Sam, if I may. You're behind a lot of this strategic partnership, pushing this through. And you've had a very interesting career, from FMCG to IT industry to entrepreneurship, and now an education leader. I mean, I don't think any of us here probably have done this range of, set of activities in one career. And you've seen a lot of things. You've seen different kinds of, workplace settings, and you've also seen very different kinds of challenges in higher education. So I turn to you to understand where you see strategic partnerships helping in achieving all of these transitions from STEM to STEAM, from left brain or right brain thinking to whole brain thinking, and all the other kinds of things that we need to be effective problem solvers today.
Yeah, thanks, Anant. I think this is an interesting topic, and we would be one of the first panel to discuss something from STEM to STEAM. The way I look at it, given my experience, starting with FMCG and then with IT, and then also now associated with higher education and healthcare also to an extent, I think the skills what an individual need to adopt and adapt is very important. I think when we talk about this 21st century skills, see, those days, in fact, though I'm a mechanical engineer, I was able to have some segue into IT and then get into other business management aspects and likewise. But nowadays, things are very, very focused. I think there, this artistic and design thinking comes very, very important. See, Sabri spoke about in terms of design thinking, you started with the left and right brain. Parthi spoke about with regard to the big brain of artificial intelligence. And Ambika spoke about the intelligence part. So I just want to recall some of the recent interactions that I had. In fact, I was sitting with Professor Richard Steinsman, who is the Vice President of Harvard Medical School, on a discussion on artificial intelligence. See, today the data is humongous, right? And irrespective of the domain what you come from, you can be a lawyer, advocate, or a medical professional, or an engineer. See, you need to have that intelligence, like what Ambika said, to really decipher what you want. See, we are bombarded with so much data, but if you don't have that intelligence to see what I need to pick and choose, then as a technocrat or as a lawyer or a medical professional, you may be at loss. So how this pick and choose comes, there you need to have that artistic skills. How you need to think through in terms of critically, in terms of identifying what I want and what is that I would not like to look into. Otherwise you'll go bonkers looking into so many things and all this stuff. That is one part to it. The second part, even I want to narrate one more example. I came across this Medtronic presentation. Okay, it was one of the world leaders in terms of the medical automation, right? So today, people are talking about, we heard about robotic surgery. Today, people are talking about endolemal surgery, which means that there will be no incision in the body, okay? Earlier, it used to be incision when a procedure is carried out. Then they got into the laparoscopy with a small incision. Today, the technology has advanced so much that they are talking about without incision, how a surgery could be performed, and that is called endolemal surgery. Harvard Medical School and Medtronics are working on it. They have mastered all the organs of the body, but for the neurology surgery. Now, they took us through a demo in terms of how it happens. So a doctor, medical doctor will not be in a position to really carry out without having an artistic knowledge, okay? Because it involves in terms of something like a Google map, okay? You need to really expand and contract and see how is that. It's typically like a Google map. Through the orifice of the body, you send an endoscopy, and that is able to really, expand on the area what you need to do and how we can do it. And for that, they are relating to the probabilities of game theory. They are relating to the probability of how we need to really be more artistic in terms of navigating certain things. So it's not purely a medical skill. That is one thing. And today, there is also a lot of things happening with regard to the space. Like the one side, there is a new emergence of space-related movement, right? And you know what Elon Musk is doing. And today, they are talking about space mining. They are talking about space commerce. They are talking about the space governance, space health. How people health could be managed in space. See, India is very good in terms of the technology component, where we are able to send the low-cost space shuttle, right? We have mastered the thought in terms of being technologically savvy and being cost-effective. But how we can make it much more innovative in terms of taking there, okay, what those guys are doing in terms of working on all these other components. A technocrat should start extending into a lot of other related areas. Okay, a medical professional should start extending into other related areas. So now this artificial intelligence, this machine learning, and some focus on the critical thinking and the design thinking, all these things will become more like a life skill. Okay, so that is where we are alluding to. And so when we start, nurturing our students on all this type of skills, I think that is going to be important for their employability, for their entrepreneurship, or maybe, definitely for the society on the sustainability and the resilience part. So this is where I will stop, and we'll look at the other.
Thank you, Sam. I still remember when I was in school, my parents saying you cannot draw the lung, you cannot draw the. I was terrible as a kid, and now I wish I had actually tried medicine, because if this is the kind of surgery, perhaps I could be a surgeon. So thank you very much for pointing out, that there is a heightened role for art in even things that we consider so hyper technical and so hyper specialized. Thank you all for bringing these perspectives. I think we have a little bit of time to take a few questions, maybe one or two questions at most. So if there are any questions, could you please pass around the mic and we can. Anybody? Please raise your hand. Yeah, we have a question there.
Good evening to one and all. I am Dr. A. Vijay Kumar, the head of the Department of Computer Science, the School of Arts and Science. Actually, sir, we may be specialists in many areas. For example, I belong to the computer science community, so they are putting the label. So I may be specialized in only one area only. Like how to overcome that one, sir? Because I may be in the skill in the mathematics, but they are not giving the proper recognitions. So they're properly giving the labeling. So you are the computer science professional. So you don't have the idea in the medical like that. How to overcome that, sir?
I'll take it. So I think a lot of self-learning is very important nowadays, okay? Because the technology is changing so much, and we need to keep ourselves abreast with regard to the changes and the trends. And irrespective of the age, I think self-learning is important. We used to talk about self-learning as a philosophy, but now it has become a reality, okay? Because if you don't learn yourself, don't get to know what are the current in things, I think you're losing a big time, right? And when we need to do self-learning, the right use of the right and left brain, like what Anand mentioned, I think that is very, very important, right? So I think we need to look in terms of the on the softer side of things as well, the emotion part, the artistic part, and also how we engage in terms of this newer thing. So engagement is another important thing. Self-learning, engagement, these two things are very important in terms of how you want to hone your skills and how you want to really be ready for the newer scheme of things that is yet to be unfold. Okay? And let us look at the SDG goals. Whatever the SDG goals are there, each and every component has a very specific focus in terms of how the future need to be sustained and what would be the resilience around it. And it is very important that as the academicians, see, I come from an industry background. I think both me and Ambika are more on the industry side. But you guys are all academicians. You guys should really look into those areas in terms of how to really, extend your perceptions on all this engagement and also with regard to the self-learning part.
Can I just answer? Yeah. So, Dr. Kumar, I just wanted to respond. I think you said mathematics and computer science, right? You're sitting actually on a very huge advantage. When we did mathematical physics, we studied eigenvectors, eigenvalues, but we didn't know where it's going to be applied. Today, Dr. Parthiban will agree with me, eigenvalues, eigenmetrics, discrete mathematics, they form what we call as the rubric of artificial intelligence on which large models are built. You have a huge advantage to demystify, simplify, and teach your students why they are learning that and how it can be applied, and bring it together to publish papers. Because today, the opportunity and the platforms to publish intelligence, to publish a point of view, a new way of thinking, there are many, many avenues, right? So that's a big advantage, and I think you should leverage that. Right.
one last question. So, ma'am, I think, yeah, there is a question there.
A very interesting topic. And we are all steamed with a lot of energy. And I also regret that I should have done some medicine now, given that the surgeries are so simple. So, and yesterday was Children's Day, and we have that energy, right? So I think these changes should start with parents and children, because, like what he rightly said, no, children are branded as no brain, left, no right, because see, the arts and science combination, I don't think that is being encouraged, because we are still focusing on the grades, topper, shield. Does anyone who does drawing, unless they get into something very special, are they encouraged or being recognized? I think we should, I know I'm not trying to boil the ocean, but I think there's a good thought that bringing it in college, I think is still too late, because our brains are already wired quite some time. So somewhere, or if it is there or not there, we don't know by the day, right? So a lot of pressure with so many grades, academics and CGPAs and projects and everything. So where is the time to even draw, know that we know to draw, right? So that is the biggest part. I think we should change something of this, and probably give these kind of topics to school teachers, and encourage them, is what is my idea. I just wanted to say. And also parents.
Actually, yeah, I was about to say that. In terms of introducing arts to in the college education system, we ourselves have on the verge of introducing open electives. Open electives where they can choose anything beyond their field from the STEM, including arts and humanities. That is something which we have introduced. I'm sure with this launching, it is only going to facilitate in our university, for that matter, in whole higher education system.
Sir, India has got a very good human resources in the form of students, faculty, etc., etc. The thing is, the present day
for design appreciation. And most of them got trained. They're now working as sustainability engineers. Excellent roles. They have evolved. But what did we do? We caught them young. We say, no, catch them young and watch them grow. We caught them young. We watched them grow. We created that environment to train them specifically because we saw that. So universities have that advantage. When students out of high school come in, are there methods to bring in what we call as interdisciplinary subjects as form of electives? Give them that option, test them out, create an environment, because for all you know, you will end up creating design gurus who will create the next big disruption in prosthetics, intelligent prosthetics, with AI, design, visual, ergonomics. We never know. So I think that's important.
Our prayer is the STEM and STEAM should remove the main STG poverty.
Right.
I think Registrar had one more point. From a human resources standpoint, I think we need to catch them at a school level to ensure that they are involved in the right use of technology. Otherwise, what happens is it's again, a very big area, and they tend to really, like what you said, the focus is not there. They are glued to the smartphones. See, Japan has a very critical problem right now. In Japan, the preteen is so glued in the mobile phone, and in fact, it is raising as a psychological and mental problem. And they are looking at it as much more severe than withdrawal of an alcohol syndrome in Japan. So the mental health is becoming a big problem. So how to ensure that the students at the school level are given the right do's and don'ts, okay? And that way, if you are able to bring in that orientation, I think that is really going to help them. And then when they step into the colleges, I think we provide this larger platform where they have an excellent opportunity to really nurture on their focus areas. So I think that is where, the important point, getting them at the school level and intervention at the school level is very, very important. Because India has a bigger problem, we being the youth capital of the world and the most populous country, I think this is a message I think we need to take it for intervention at the school level, which is very, very important.
We are comfortable in Tamil Nadu, but many states are suffering more than like this, particularly in India.
So, STEM to STEAM back. And when we did the framing, I don't think any of us thought that we are going to cover such a wide distance from the Mars orbiter to social media addiction. I think we spoke about a lot of things, but I think some points which come out to my mind, at least the way I saw the panel discussions unfold. The first is that there's a lot of work that educators have to put in to ensure that STEM to STEAM becomes a reality. There is also a lot of awareness we need to provide to schools. In fact, I can go back to some of the career sessions I do at multiple schools in Chennai and across Tamil Nadu, where really it's not talking about even law or BA, LLB honors or any of that. It's really just telling them, look, there are options beyond engineering and medicine. I mean, just getting that point across itself takes a while, but I think that's a great thing that we actually end up doing as educators when we do these outreach sessions. Similarly, the possibility of bridge courses, open electives, and various other mechanisms by which as educators we can try and ensure that some degree of that artistic thinking is brought into technical education, and vice versa too, that lawyers get to learn a little bit of coding and data skills and so on. And the third message that came across to me is that this cannot be done without industry support and collaboration, because they are the ones who really see where all of this finally lands, in terms of workplace skills and problems that they need to solve at the workplace level. And so when we really talk about integrating these two different aspects of the human brain into what is called a whole brain thinking, we really need support from the industry. We need more such collaborations as the one that we are marking here today. And I think, this is really a momentous occasion for us all to therefore reflect on how STEM to STEAM can be operationalized through strategic partnerships. I'm grateful to all our panelists. They've all been lovely, very nice, to the moderator, and of course very helpful in terms of shedding insights. Thanks to each one of you, and thank you all for being an amazing audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your expertise in this informative and engaging discussion. I would now like to call Ms. Ambika Natarajan and Mr. Suresh Samuel, who will be making an announcement.
Dr. Anand Padmanabhan and Dr. Selva Kumar, all are here. So, to the Chennai campus.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Just a bit of a brief. I think 3 weeks back, Dave reached out saying that they're going to be conducting a national level essay competition for school students, and it's going to be triggering their thought process. The cost seemed phenomenal, and we wanted to be a part of it. So we are a knowledge partner, and we are very proud, excited, and humbled to be a part of this cause. This is a competition that's being organized by the Chennai campus of Vinayaka Missions for School Students. The grant is around, it's a national level essay competition on reimagining education, the role of technology in Viksit Bharat. Very much needed. Young minds are going to come up with some of the most unthinkable ideas. So we are excited to see what's going to come out of that. You want to announce about the winter school?
So there are two grants that we will be doing along with the HCL Technologies. One is that the grant one is the national level essay competition. The grant two is the winter school on R programming and AI-led tools for academic research in HCL Technologies, yes, right? Yes. So this has also been open for the school students.
For anybody who want to sign up as part of the winter school.
Winter school, right. Okay. So this both announcements, we are making it today.
Yes. I just want to add, Sam.
Yeah, please go.
So this particular winter school, there is a partnership with the Institute of Econometrics, right? The school, yes, the Thai school. And we will be mentoring. In fact, we just had our first kickoff call earlier this week with Dr. Suraj, right, from IIT. He's a veteran from Indian Institute of Tech. Dave, you want to add more to that? So one of the things we're doing is curating how the winter school should look like. It's going to be a very stacked up thing that we are envisaging. Dave, share more light. Yeah.
Thanks, Ambika. Thanks, sir. Honorable Chancellor, sir, ma'am, and all of our honorable people here. The whole idea of this national level essay competition is just not a marketing strategy or just not an essay competition. We want to invite ideas across India from the school students, because education is all about them. I'm not going back to the school, but I am creating students, or the students wants how they want to see Viksit Bharat in the days ahead. So we want to, apologies for my bad throat. So we want to invite ideas across India from the students as how they want to see their education system under this Viksit Bharat in the days ahead. And we'll have eminent juries to choose the best ideas from there. And thereafter, Vinayaka Mission School of Economics and Public Policy wants to draft a white paper and take it forward to the appropriate level and do the necessary advocacy to add value to this Viksit Bharat event. Thanks to our Chancellor sir, ma'am, Suresh sir and Ambika for all the support and encouragement. And the next is the winter school. We are tying up with the Indian Econometric Society, the most prestigious organization in the country. It is on R programming and usage of AI in academic research, the discussions that we just had few minutes back. So it's almost a 5-day winter school that we are organizing for the college and university teachers. And the curriculum will be developed in consultation with HCL, Career Shaper and the Indian Econometric Society. And we are happy that Professor Neeraj Hatikar, the legendary econometrician, has agreed to be a part of this from the Indian Econometric Society. I would request all of your support to make these events a grand success, because it's just not an event, but it has miles to go and take our university along with us to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. As we near the close of this event, I would like to call on Mr. Pratap Aditya Chakravarti, Global Head, Partner Success, HCLTech, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I had written the vote of thanks. I just added a couple of more lines because the panel discussion, and thank God it was just a panel discussion. After all, most of us are teachers. Given an opportunity, we just could have gone on and on because it's a topic which is so close to our hearts. At this momentous VEmerge Plus event, as it comes to a close, I take this opportunity to thank our esteemed dignitaries, Dr. A.S. Ganeshan, the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Anuradha Ganeshan, Vice President, Ms. Srimati Shivashankar, Corporate Vice President and the Global Head of the EdTech Business. We have Ms. Ambika Natarajan, Senior Vice President for us, Mr. Suresh Samuel, Member of the Board, VMRF, Dr. P.K. Sudhir, the Honorary Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Sabrinathan, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nagappan, Registrar, Ms. Sridevi Sundarajan, alright, Customer Success Lead from our end, Ms. Shanti Venkatraman, QA Lead, and Ms. Tilakavati Gunasekaran, who we lovingly call GT, our Delivery Head. I also thank all the heads and the faculties of the various VMRF institutions and my colleagues from HCLTech. I sincerely thank Dr. Madhumita Ravi and Ms. Divya and everyone who worked behind the scenes tirelessly to make this event successful. Lastly, I would like to thank you for your valuable time and support. Let us look forward to the exciting opportunities that the partnership will create, and as Dr. Nagappan said, creation of a new breed of leaders. And Mr. Rajshekhar, how could I have forgot? He's worked even more tirelessly. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Yes, like it was rightly pointed out, a special mention to Mr. Rajshekhar for putting together this event and making it a grand success. Thank you to each one of you for your presence and support in making this event a grand success. We invite you all to join us for high tea. Have a wonderful evening. Sorry, I apologize. We'd like to conclude with the national anthem. And a group picture. Yes.